Good morning, everybody. We are coming live from GFOA 2025. If you're joining us, let us know where you're joining us from. The chat box is open. My name is AV. I'm the founder and CEO at Avero Advisors. We're an independent third-party consulting firm that specializes in ERP consulting and digital transformation for local governments across the country. And we have been at GFOA 2025 for the last 3 days. Today is the last day of the exhibitor hall. And on tradition, we are going live from our booth. With me, I have my crew. Today is Hawaiian shirt day. So there's
Hey guys.
Megan, there's Robert, and we are going to talk today about um, our ERP confessional wall. So we have this cool whiteboard set up where people have been coming by and putting in their ERP horror stories, things that worry them about an ERP implementation, and it's been a great conversation starter. So we're gonna go over some of the um, you know thoughts people have left on our confessional wall and just chat about it.
Yeah. Let's go.
Where we at?
Okay. I'm going to start by talking about this one because it's near and dear to my heart. Lack of bidders for our 99-page RFP. And if you haven't seen the content that we've put out about how to craft an RFP, please check that out. But let's dive into this. So 99-page RFP. I think it doesn't matter how many pages your RFP is. Number one, what matters, is how you write it. What is the scope? What are you asking for? How are you telling your story, right? Why are you doing this project? Why this? Why now? Help me answer that so that I know how to craft a very unique response. Anything else to add?
Yeah, and we've had a lot of conversations about RFPs in general, right? A lot of software providers are really interested in uh, how we're modifying that process, how we're being creative, how we're being more efficient, and not doing it the same old way like it's been done for 30 plus years. Your 10,000 line requirements definitions, making vendors check off every line item, and that isn't necessarily required anymore because most products do the basics. Most products do, check runs. Most products
That's
can
right.
do a lot of things. So, what are those unique outcomes and key features that you need in a system, or what are the key features you will select based on?
That's right.
And that is really important to us as we help clients do that. So, 99-page or a 9-page RFP, if it doesn't have the right things in there, you may not be able to make the best decision, especially when you haven't really seen any modern ERP systems out there, don't know what the capabilities are, uh, and so it becomes a really blind process. So we are trying to modify that process, and we're doing things like bringing in software providers to do non-committal pre-RFP demos and meet and greets, so the clients know exactly what's going on the market. All right, what's next?
All right. I like this one. We're done. Moving on.
Ooh, we're done.
We're
Moving on.
done.
Um, you know, it takes a lot for
It
clients to
does.
move on from an implementation. Mid implementation, it's not an easy decision to make. Sometimes a necessary one, but really it cannot be taken lightly. It cannot be done flippantly. You really need to pay attention to the contract, why things aren't working. Are they really not working, or is there something else going on that is killing this project? So we're done. Moving on is something that's on the confessional wall, and that's not an easy decision to make. So I wonder who wrote that. We should probably go talk to them.
That's right.
Yeah.
IT led the ERP project.
Okay, not necessarily a horrible
Bad.
thing.
Yeah.
IT leading the ERP project, as long as they understand and have participation from the business users and the business departments. You need to involve finance, HR, payroll, the departments that will eventually be using your system need to be involved in the project. Uh, IT leading the ERP project or HRIS project, not a bad thing, as long as they have the skill sets to project manage and are not only looking at this project as a technical project.
I fixed the problems after implementation.
So what that tells me is go live happened,
Mhm.
and it happened because the vendor said we're live. It wasn't the definition of the client. So if the problems exist during implementation and they're not fixed and you go live, you're really putting yourself in a bad spot, because what does go live mean then? And then problems arise, but are they problems? Are you trying to make modifications post go live? That may not be on the software providers. That's on you. If a new requirement came up and you're trying to change how the system works, you're trying to implement a new functionality, that is okay to do, and the vendor should not be blamed for that. So um, I fix the problems after implementation. It's not such a bad thing. But if the vendor left you high and dry and you guys went live, and it really doesn't work and you now start getting the invoices, we've got a slight problem there. Um, David, hey, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're all having a fantastic time joining live from GFOA.
Are you reading the confessional
The
wall?
confessional wall, yes.
What's next?
I've talked to a couple of people about the confessional wall. It seems to be a hit, and people are getting stuff off their chest.
So what's next? We let the vendor choose the go live date. I mean, I think I talk about this every week on the live stream. The vendor can propose go live dates. I mean, what happens is once you sign a contract and kick the project off, you will have your opportunity to review the software provider's work plan, project plan, significant dates. But it's really important for you to weave your key dates into the software provider's work plan. Otherwise, you're not going to pay attention, or the vendor's not going to pay attention to your blackout dates, your audits, your budgeting cadence, your vacations. A lot of times when a project Gantt chart's put together, people don't pay attention to holidays. For example, don't propose the go live during Christmas week. Everybody's off; they're hanging out with their families. So time your go live so that it works for everybody. So letting the vendor choose a go live date, again, not a bad idea. But make sure you have inputs. Make sure you're taking into account your organization's schedule, because life goes on. You all have day jobs, and you have to take all of that into account as you get on this journey. What's next, David?
Let's take a look here. Looks like we hired a retired PM part-time.
Okay, I don't know. Again, we wish we had names and size, organization sizes, because that hiring a part-time PM um, is not a bad idea, as long as you have resources within your organization that can handle the load of an ERP implementation. It is not an easy task to take. If it's being sold to you as an upgrade project, it's a lot more than that. You're moving between PeopleSoft to Oracle HCM, or going to Workday or Tyler. These are brand new products um, that don't qualify as an upgrade. You really have to pay attention to uh, what product you're going to. And part-time project manager, great. If you need supplemental resourcing and you already have staff on your team that can do it, go for it. What's next, Dave?
Lack of bidders for our 99-page RFP.
We already did that.
You already did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not gonna repeat this.
Let's see here. IT led the ERP project?
Already did that.
Already did that. All right.
Stay away from you.
Look, you're being efficient. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Lack of executive engagement from the vendor.
Ooh, that is a big deal. Lack of, what does that mean? Executive engagement from the vendor. When you do demos and you're trying to pick a product or a service like ours, make, we are putting our best foot forward. The software vendors are putting their best foot forward and showing the best teams, the best sales teams. And when the project goes on, if all is going well, you may not need executive engagement, but at key moments during the project, you need to have executives from every stakeholder set in your. Hey, Scott. You should. Yeah. Um, ex-client, future client, Scott McCarthy. Where was I?
Scott threw me off a little bit, I'll be honest with you.
Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
Okay, let's see here. I went with the cheapest.
Went with the cheapest provider. Now that's a function of how you ran your selection process, right? If you put a lot of emphasis on cost, which is okay to do, you and you pick the cheapest vendor, it may or may not work for you. So in this case, it's a confessional wall. Sounds like cheapest was not the best for that organization and didn't quite work out. But how do you select the right product? You have to have a selection criteria that goes beyond just pricing. You need to have a lot of qualitative selection criteria in there. You have to give the vendors a chance to showcase their best features and get a chance to meet with their project teams, their executives. And that's how you make a selection. Because at the end of the day, this is not a tech project. Yeah, software is involved, but it's really a people project. You're trying to overhaul your organization and how it works. And you need to pay attention to who you're going to be working with on the other side, be it the third party project managers or the vendors team. Pay attention to who's working there, how the product fits your organization, and use that to score and rank those products accordingly. Pricing should be included in that decision criteria. It should not be the number one criteria for you to select. There's a lot of choice on the market today. I mean, we are at GFOA and lots of new providers, lots of um, legacy providers with new products. It's an exciting time. There's a lot of choice for organizations that are looking to modernize their ERP systems, and you need to be careful not to just select based on pricing because you know you can get some special discounts and deals at the end of a quarter, but what does that really mean to your organization? It needs to go beyond just pricing. Next one.
I didn't fully understand the contract.
Okay, that's a common one. It's a contract. If you're not a lawyer, it's a pretty dry document. But make sure that your legal team is not only looking at the legalese, but they're also understanding the scope of work and how it fits for your organization. Um, Otherwise, you're going to sign something that you don't understand, that you may be opening your organization to liability and a lot of trouble if you don't understand what you're signing. So in this confessional case, looks like they had some trouble because of the contract. Hey Jeremy, welcome to Avero. This is Jeremy Cedars, one of our senior consultants, and he has done great at this conference, by the way. So what are we talking about next? We've already done some of these. Um, didn't read the contract. We had no PMO. Let's do that one. So, what does that mean? A project management organization. If you're a medium to large scale organization, you need to have a project management office that does nothing but work on your implementation. Depending on the size of your organization, it may be one person, it may be a part time person, like we talked earlier, but you need somebody that's doing nothing but taking care of the project. Now, that could be a third party provider like Avero. We run project management offices for large scale implementations. And it's a partnership between us, the software provider, and the client.